I have a very serious question. Is it considered inappropriate or wrong or desperate for a female to slide into a male's DMs? I'm so curious what people think about this. I personally have no issue with that. I don't think it makes a girl desperate. I don't think that it makes her wrong. But I'm very curious, especially if you're a guy watching this. Let me know what you think if a girl slides into your DMs, but just let me know in general what your thoughts are on that.
If she really didn't care that much about a girl sliding into a guy's DM, she would not have made this video in the first place. That's like a guy asking a girl if she puts out on the first date, but he was only asking for a friend. Right.
Liar!
To answer the question in general, a woman sliding into a man she is attracted to DMs means exactly that. The only desperation would be if she was rejected beforehand. And let me tell you, for a guy to reject a woman's approaches, there are some usual suspect reasons as to why that would happen. I mean, we can say that woman had a spirit animal akin to a hippo or a wildebeest, or she has got a high mileage with a high STI probability reputation, or she could be a walking case of desperation needing her fix. Hey, I'm not judging. I just recognize in the modern dating jungles, there are some female gorillas I wouldn't touch even with a bulletproof rubber. Moving on.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that dating apps are out for 2024. We're done. We did it. We tried it. I think it was a very millennial thing. And a good percentage of you guys were lucky and successful and I think are happily married. Congrats. But for the rest of us that were kind of left behind, the ones that it didn't work out with, I think we need to put it to bed. I think we need to, not literally, I think we need to put it to rest. Delete all of them out. I recently re-downloaded Hinge, okay? And I'm just kind of curious. See what's out there. It's the same people. It's the same people. We're all still there. So I think we try something new this year. Maybe talking to people in real life, meeting people, doing things that you love, and you meet someone who has the same hobby as you. That would be cute. But the dating app, not in 2024. Not for me. You will not see me on there.
Sorry to say this, but dating apps aren't going away anytime soon because the reality that women were the ones who moved dating away from in-person meetings to dating apps thinking it was going to be the end-all be-all solution to their desperate attention needs by having a dozen men a day doing the thirsty auto-right swipe and bombarding their DMs with the most beta imp chump energy. But those women are now realizing that all the apps did was give those top 20% chat/Taiwan thunderslongs the path of least resistance to make their protein deposits in multiple willing fluid receptacles without having to give too much commitment. Sorry, ladies, you let this genie out of the bottle and it's not going back in. Not just did you open up your own personal box, you also opened up Pandora's box at the same time. And ladies, do you know why trying to go back to traditional meet and greets will fail?
How come? Tell me why! Say it! Say it!
It's because men already know you women aren't going to change your attitudes in person. You will all just huddle around the hottest guys and ignore every other average-looking guy. Or simply record the event and put up a video blast of the event being full of icks and creeps. Like if women weren't the creepy ones recording others.
How dare you?
Moving on.
So in January of 2024, I decided to put myself out there and go on a bunch of Hinge dates. So I went on 9 dates, most of which happened within a 2-week period of time, and it was with 5 different guys. So with some of them I had some second dates, and with one of them I had 3 dates. So the reason why I did this was because I finally decided that I needed to give more people an opportunity to meet me, because I had been swiping on the dating apps, but I was so picky about who I was actually going to meet, which I do feel like is something that you need to be a little more picky about in general if you want to meet quality people. But I think I also wasn't putting myself out there to actually go and have dates with people. So I actually decided to say yes to, I think, all or most of the dates and showed up to them. I think I met a lot of really cool, interesting people, and they had a good vibe to them, but I'm a pretty good conversationalist, at least I think in dating, so I can carry the conversation pretty well myself. I feel like a good connection based off of good conversation is not necessarily what I'm looking for in a partner. So I went on all these dates and I was able to find what I actually wanted.
Oh boy, here we go again. Another video from a westernized Asian woman who went on a lot of dates in a short period of time. I mean, 9 dates, 5 guys in 2 weeks.
Him, bodies!
And as usual, the drawn-out explanation as to why so many bodies were necessary, as in part of the process of a true queen finding herself. I wonder if a guy decides to start a new job every 3 days, would he be considered by women that he is trying to find himself, rather than he probably has a type of commitment issue? Ladies, you have to understand that regardless of how you feel about racking up more bodies than a Chicago morgue, men are going to see it as mileage. Red flag. And regardless of how much you think you can hide it by lying, there is no hiding the loss of traction from balding tires, by the way. The funny thing is how she says the same thing women say when swiping on dating apps. And that is, they are picky. Who are you trying to kid here? We all know that's code for I swipe only on the top 20% of guys. It's not like that's part of the female secret squirrel club. Women always go for the higher tier men, thinking their taco is the bomb that's going to make him commit.
Because I think in the past I thought I really wanted an extroverted man because I'm an ambivert, but I feel like extroverted in my personality sometimes. And so I need somebody who can pace me. So if somebody else is also extroverted, it's just like two people that are going so fast and we just keep talking. And sometimes I feel like I come out of those conversations not actually learning anything about the other person because we're just talking so much that there's no time to process anything. And it's almost difficult to even process that later on. Like, even after you get home and you're thinking about it. So I think I actually like introverted men or men who are a little bit more quiet and have a slower pace. And I didn't really know that until I went on these dates. But I think that this is your sign to go on dates with people who may not usually be your type. Obviously, like, have a standard and follow that standard. But like, all of these guys were such great people. They were just not the right person for me. But I think it's time to be less scared about meeting people and going on dates. Obviously, be cautious, be safe. But, you know, you're never gonna meet somebody if you don't put yourself out there. So, 2024, now's your chance.
Oh, the verted word salad had to be thrown in there with a topping of I need a man to fill the light role of professional therapist. Question: if this young queen went on 9 dates in 2 weeks this early in the year, if we do the math, how many guys would that be at the end of the year?
165!
Ladies, I'm not knocking dating. I'm just making an observation of the numbers. I mean, give it some thought for a moment. How large is the void that she needed to date 5 guys in that small span of time to start to realize a few things? Let me spin that another way. Let's say this gorilla said he wants to meet someone new, and after meeting up with half a dozen female gorillas, I start to say, I thought I wanted this one thing at first, but I want to find a female gorilla who does this other thing. Well, questions would immediately pop up as, does that mean you just want to go out with more females? Or how did none of these females meet your standard? Or how many tacos do you need to crack to be satisfied? Well, you see how easily men can come up with these types of questions from women of a high rate of dating partners? But hey, hard carousel rides aren't anything new. Moving on.
If you're hoping to find love in 2024, here is something I wish I understood sooner. Every single desired characteristic that you want in your partner will also come with a consequence. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you want your partner to be really good looking, like conventionally attractive, has the body, everything. Guess what happens to people who are that conventionally attractive? They get a lot of attention from the opposite sex. So if you want to date a really attractive person, you're just going to have to deal with people hitting on your partner in front of you, maybe even. Are you jealous? Do you trust them? That is something you're going to have to figure out. Or maybe you want a partner with a really solid body, like very little body fat, has the abs, has the biceps, or maybe she's just super thin. That individual is going to have a very rigid diet. No spontaneous trips to a nice restaurant. They're not going to snack with you. They are going to meal prep, and they're going to spend time on that. They're going to be hitting the gym. That is a goal of theirs, and that will come at the expense of their time and their energy and their attention. You want a guy who's really ambitious and has a thriving career and an upward trajectory? Guess what? He's going to be working a lot. He's not going to call or text you all the time. He's not going to have time every night to go hang out. You will have to be very specific when you plan things. You may have to plan things with an assistant.
Tell us you were dating Chad/Tyrone without telling us. Oh, the deluxe package was hit on by this Queen. If he is an absolute stud, other women are going to be interested. And they don't care if he is already making consistent sour cream deposits into your taco shell. They want their fill from him too. Sorry, ladies, but you have been told time and time again, those men 80% of all of you go for on those dating apps are more than likely community D. That means it's not your sausage, it's just your turn. And I advise this girl to look into some teeth whitening treatments if she decides to continue to date top quality grade A beef studs. She must realize by now she is actively in competition with, let's say, other chickens in the henhouse for that top rooster. I find it almost hilarious how women expect to lock in a Giga Chad, and he is supposed to remain a chiseled Greek god by hanging out with her 24/7. Trust me, ladies, this gorilla would love nothing more than to be able to remain in shape by laying on the couch all day, downing a six-pack while scarfing down a full rack of ribs. But it doesn't work that way, no matter how much your feels want it to, which also means that Pookie and Ray Ray are gonna crack a few other taco shells on the side, no matter what else your feels want either.
I cannot tell you how many TikToks I see of women who say, I had a very wealthy husband and I barely saw him and I felt very lonely. They thought they wanted the security of his money, but his money always comes with a trade-off, and that is him working all the time. So if you're not someone with your own things going on and you want a wealthy man, you might be lonely or bored. The goal of this is to get more realistic about like an actual person. They're not this character you've written in your head. This is a real human being. What would it be like to be with this human being if they were in your life? How would interacting with this person on a regular basis leave you feeling? Maybe you want someone who's super charismatic, but guess what? When you go out with a super charismatic person, there is a good chance that they will not have their focus on you when you're at a party, for example. They'll go and they'll start talking to people, they'll tell stories, like they draw people in, and so you are not the center of their focus when you go out. Will you feel abandoned? The radiator is making itself known now, so I'm going to end it there, but I recommend you make a list of the desired characteristics and a list of what the outcome could lead to, like what a consequence of that could be. Here's an example of what that could look like. You could also go above and beyond and start using ChatGPT to help you create this person. I did that, not gonna lie. That's a different video.
Damn, this girl obviously went out with at least one type of Chad, or possibly a Giga Chad, and got the rude awakening of what the cost is of being with a man like that is. We've all seen something like this before when, let's say, the wives of a well-off and successful banker, engineer, or businessman decides she wants to divorce them because they are not getting the attention they dreamed of, and go with a broke Pookie. Then 4 to 5 years later, after the divorce, when the payout they got starts to dry up, and her unemployed new boo drops the deuces on her for his next taco conquest, then they want to try again with their ex-husbands, only to find out he is dating the younger/hotter version of her.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Ladies, if you find yourselves in said situation, it's better to have a small slice of reality now rather than having the full pie of reality slammed in your face later. Your high-earning husband is the rarer catch, meaning he has the higher value of you both. If you let him go, he becomes the new Chad. I don't care how hot you think you are, but a 35 to 45-year-old crack taco will not match the value of a 25-year-old fresher taco, regardless of how many toppings or tricks you claim to bring to the table. The chances of you finding a guy equally successful to your ex-husband at a more advanced age is slim. Forget trying to justify it by saying, well, it's possible. Be real and say it's not probable. Girlfriend, reality don't give a damn about your fifis. What makes you think a man who is sought after by at least a half dozen women is going to either?
Fatality.
Flawless victory.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.